Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of People's Stories. I'm your host, Priyanka Ojha. Thank you so much for joining us. I truly hope you'll enjoy this beautiful story and take away some genuinely brilliant insights with you. Once again, a heartfelt thank you for being here. Stay tuned and let the magic unfold. Hi, everyone. A very warm welcome to another episode of People Stories. I'm your host, Priyanka, and today I have Mr. Neeraj Lal in the studio with us. Neeraj, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Neeraj is working as the Chief Operating Officer at Apollo Hospitals for the Gujarat region, and he's also based out of Gujarat, which is a state in India, and he's living in the capital city of the state, which is Ahmedabad. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for giving your time. And I'm really looking forward to our conversation. How would you like to introduce yourself?
Right, I'm in the healthcare space for the last 20 years, and I graduated from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, in the year 2001. I did my master's in hospital administration there, and I've started my journey as an executive trainee in one of the hospital in Bombay. And in
Hmm.
this last 20 years, from executives to manager to GMs and heading operations, and now I'm chief operating officer for Apollo in Gujarat. We have 8 hospitals of different format in Gujarat region, ranging from multi-specialty hospital to a specialty hospital like oncology, cardiology, health and wellness centers, and apart from that, OPD center in Udaipur and Jodhpur.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about me. I'm also a part of International Society for Quality in Healthcare. I'm one of the second assessor from India who used to audit country-specific standards. So
Okay.
yes, so like Accreditation Canada, JCI, and all. And I'm also on the panel of Quality and Accreditation Institute, where we do specialty standards like ART, which is fertility standards, stroke, advanced stroke centers, and all.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So we already can understand that you have like a very vast and deep experience in the healthcare sector. So, and basically, I wanted to talk to you about, like your professional journey, but also your personal, like, where are you coming from? So, if you could talk a little bit about how you were growing up as a kid, what kind of background you have, like where would you place yourself in the social status, like those kind of things.
Okay. I started my journey schooling from a very small city in a state, Uttar Pradesh, which is now Uttarakhand. There is one place known as IIT Roorkee. So my
Hmm.
parents were working in IIT Roorkee. My mother was librarian, and my father was working in the administration. So my schooling happened in Roorkee Kent area, right from nursery till class 12th. Then I spent time in the education campus, and if you know, IIT is in one of the premier institute in the country. After my 10 plus 2, I did my bachelor's in medical technology from prestigious PGI Chandigarh. It is a postgraduate institute which offers various degree in medicine. Apart from this, I've done my medical technology from there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very fortunate to receive a ICAT Memorial Gold Medal from PGI Chandigarh. And from there, I came to New Delhi. There was at that time Apollo was just happening in New Delhi. Those are the time 93 or 94. So
Hmm.
Apollo Indraprastha Apollo Hospital was just happening in Delhi. Apollo started as a healthcare corporate hospital in India in 1983 in Chennai, and Delhi setup come in something around 93, 94. So I
Hmm.
have attended a interview which is not a formal, which is just you apply and you go there and attend. And fortunately, I get a job there as an executive trainee in one of the laboratory services there. So
Okay.
I was there for 2 years, and then there was a management bug in me. I always want to do something in the management. So my HOD, Dr. Sangeeta Rawat, prompted me, why can't you do some management courses? So I was just wondering what to do. So at that time in Connaught Place, there was a YMCA School of Business.
Hmm.
So I was doing a morning job in Apollo. I start my day at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, finish my job, full-time job by 2 o'clock. I run from there, go to Connaught Place, YMCA School of Business, and do a part-time MBA, which is known as Postgraduate Diploma in Hospital Administration.
Hmm.
So I was doing that. It was a 1 year diploma from
Yeah.
YMCA School of Business. But after passing from there, that was a very hectic start your day at 5 and finish by 10 o'clock. So I was thinking, my father specifically told me, why can't you do a proper 2 years full-time MBA course? Part-time is always, your tuition between your job and this. So I applied at prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Bombay. So I went there and it was exam which was happening and around 5,000 students participated in the MHA program. I applied there. I stayed in Bombay for 3 days. First day was interview. Second day was a group discussion. I'm very fortunate to get a MHA in hospital administration from there, and that started my proper healthcare management journey.
Hmm.
So after passing from there, during the placement, that is a 2 years full-time course there. So you have to have hospital which is coming for the placement. So my placement happened in PD Hinduja Hospital in Bombay.
Hmm.
So as an executive trainee in hospital administration. But Bombay was not happening with me, and staying in a PG and going to a hospital was tough. And at that time, my second placement happened in a sleepy city in Gujarat, which is Anand, which is known as milk capital of India. So Dr. Mrita Patel have taken me there as a management trainee in their medical college. They got a 1,000 bedded medical college hospital in Anand, which is 100 kilometers away from Ahmedabad. So I
Okay.
came down to Gujarat. That started my Gujarat journey. So I
Hmm.
was uh, I was here in the year 2002.
Yeah. But
So
where
I
did
was
where did this uh bug for like doing a master's or doing degree in like hospital administration, where did this come from? Like why did you not choose like the mainstream, I don't know, engineering or like medicine areas?
No, you are very right. In fact, my father was there in IT. He always want I should do a BTech from IT, and but somehow my interest was not there. At that time, MBAs was not very common for healthcare. There are only one or two institute in the country, and
Hmm.
I was not in the format to do MBA. I was very happy after my graduation, and I was very fortunate to get a job in a corporate hospital in New Delhi, first corporate hospital of Delhi. But my father, I think one day my father has seen an ad in one of the newspaper. He made a cut, sent to me. At that time, there was no phone. He sent a post to me and said, Neeraj, there is a Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Devnar in Mumbai. Why can't you apply? And I don't want to leave job. I was very happy earning a decent amount for me and enjoying Delhi. He said, leave this, apply for the job. And I went to
Hmm.
test for my MBA in hospital management.
Okay. And like now that you are saying, so basically you started somewhere in 2001, and now and at that time you started as a management trainee, right? And now you are like the chief operating officer of like a big hospital chain in India. How has this whole space changed over time? Like both in terms of recruitment of people, like in terms of how the processes are looking like, what kind of expectations are we having for people who wants to get into hospital administration?
You are right. Actually, in my healthcare journey, I'm always fascinated by the people who did their MBA in hospital management. Like as of now, I'm on the panel of 5, 6 management institute, including Goa Institute of Management, Narsi Mohanji Institute from Bombay, Chitkara University in Punjab. So I used to go there, teach them certain subject on quality, strategic management, materials management, and all. And I used to place these students in my hospital wherever I worked in this last few years as a intern, summer interns, so that they can do a live project. See, my
Hmm.
MBA in hospital management also was like that. It is more a hospital based training. Like I've been posted in 4 different hospitals. I was posted in Ghatkopar, one of the BMC run hospital. I was posted in Sion Medical College. I was posted in Tata Memorial Hospital, and I was posted in Leelavati Hospital. So it is more a practical training. So the students used to come there. They become a part of that, and I'm very fortunate. In Tata Institute of Social Sciences, my mentor was Dr. K.V. Narayan. He was a medical superintendent. He said, if you want to learn management, sit with us and see how we deal with patients, how we deal with vendors, how we deal with doctors. I think that start the management. See, if you shadow a particular manager, if you shadow a CEO, so you can learn more, because hospital is more solving problem right there, because it is not customized in the books. Of course, book will tell you the various processes, SOP and format, but I think live hospital administration you run on the site. So that is a way, I have learned hospital administration, and since then, I'm taking many students in the internship for 3 months, 6 months, depending upon the format of their course, and we have to give them live project. They shadow a manager, they work with them and understand the hospital process, and how can they use various management principle in order to optimize that operation and ultimately the business of that department.
Mm, okay. And does technology play a very big role in operations as well? Like how do you see that? Like for
No, you are
example, this
very
whole
right.
AI.
Yes, yes, you are right. See, in fact, COVID has changed the way we work in healthcare. See, earlier there was a less than 5% video consultations. Apollo was the first in the country to start telemedicine. But after COVID, our 30% consultation is happening on a video platform. See, I think healthcare is moving away from the hospitals. For the OPD, for the pathology, radiology, people are not going to the hospitals. So there is known as something known as home healthcare or remote patient monitoring, where our doctor and nurses monitor the patient by various AI tools, and they used to recommend the suggestion and advise what to do, and they're coming to the hospital only for ICU and critical care surgeries. So you are very right, like technology. See, for example, a small thing which is happening in the hospital. A patient is waiting for a doctor in the OPD, right? And he's not happy. He is not, waiting time is more. So in one of the hospital in Hyderabad where I was there, we have installed AI based cameras, IP cameras. So this IP cameras used to see the emotion of the patient, whether patient is happy, sad, very irritated. So our customer care manager see if some patient is not happy or irritated with through the help of this AI cameras, and proactively she go close to the patient and say, how can I help you? And patient gets surprised, so he
Hmm.
can say, "Or how did you know?" So then they say, I'm waiting for the doctor for the last half an hour. My bill is not being generated. And it is very nice. In fact, you can check the happiness index of the staff and doctors. In the morning, some doctor coming to the hospital and his happiness index is 78 percentage. And by the time he's going in the evening, his happiness percentage index has gone down to 32. So we can call the doctor, hey doc, what happened? Your happiness index has gone down from 75 to 28. What happened? You know?
How would
So
you
these
measure
are
the happiness index?
so there is a four moods of the patients, happiness, sad. So it is captured by AI. It also help to attendance also of a particular employee or a staff, plus also capturing the mood of the patients. So it is
Just
AI
by
based.
looking at.
Yes. So, say for example, when you are entering to the hospital, you are not supposed to punch in and punch out. You see at that camera capture the emotion and divide into happy index or a sad or what. And this technology is working very well. And some of the technologies, if you see, like most important thing in the hospital, which is a pain area,
Hmm.
you transfer the patients. Patient is admitted into the ward, and you're shifting patient from ward to the operation theater to ICU or a CT scan or MR. So this process is a very time consuming. A typical scenario: a staff nurse will pick up the phone, call a patient care attendant. That patient care attendant may be busy in some other areas. She will come, take the patient on a wheelchair, and park him to the CT scan. And she wait till the CT scan procedure is completed. And sometimes the waiting time is more. So we started Uberization of patient transport. What we have done, we have started one app where a nurse can see where the closest patient transport manager is waiting. call that patient transport manager. They will come with a wheelchair, transfer the patient from location A to location B, and don't wait there for the patient procedure. And they move away from there. And when the procedure is completed, again, like an app, you can see where the closest patient transport manager is there. And again, you call that employee, they will come pick up the patient and drop to a desired location. So I think these are the things which is more important. I think if we use more in healthcare, you can get better patient experience. So I think this
Okay.
technology changing the way the healthcare is working.
That's it's very fascinating. I mean,
Yes.
I'm actually very pleasantly surprised that, like we are adopting technology so much into hospital. Is this only in Apollo hospitals though, or like almost all the hospitals in India are kind of moving in that direction now?
I think after COVID, most of the hospital is attempting to reach there. Say, for
Hmm.
example, Apollo, I think if you see Apollo compliance, it is more than 75 percentages, and various key hospitals in the India are trying to do whichever platform they have. But I think from non-compliance to compliance level of compliance is different for different hospitals. But we are doing. You just see in healthcare scenario. I'm sure you must have seen how does the hospital work. You go with the big jute bag to the hospital. It has your CT scan, MRI, X-ray, your pathology, and poor doctor has to see everything, seeing the blood report, seeing the X-ray, seeing the CT and MR, and it is very, very difficult, which is that CT scan which is done previously. So now what we have done, there's an app. Everything is uploaded there. So whenever a patient is entering to a doctor room, he know which patient is coming. So doctor address the patient by name, and
Hmm.
instead of seeing the report, he's doing the login ID of his number and see all the reports, whether
Yeah.
pathology, how is blood sugar level, how is cholesterol level, when the last X-ray was done, what was the last MR, and this help to take the decision fast. So I
Yeah.
think that is the way the healthcare is changing. But Apollo believe in technologies. I can always refer to my app, and all the reports are stored there. Otherwise, it's very,
Hmm.
very difficult for a patient as well as a doctor to take care of the entire healthcare journey. Because
Hmm.
I think if he goes from hospital A to B, it is very difficult. So if you have a reports online and you can see when the last pathology was being done, what is the last time when this sugar was done, it makes the things very easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is how it happens in Germany, for example. Like we always have these cards. Like everybody has a health insurance card. Like basically, our the medical setup here is like very much tied to you being tied to a health insurance company, and they would store all your records. So all the yearly annual testing that happens for me, or like what my age is, what my historic like background history is, like everything would be stored there, and so the doctor can just look at it and be like, I don't have to take any paper whatsoever, I don't have to think about any money, I don't have to think about like those kind of things. And I think it makes it much more, because you're already stressed, when you're going to a
True.
doctor, so you don't want to think about all of these things.
No, it is from the both side. See, you are right. You're going to a hospital without any, folders or files. And for the poor doctor also, which
Hmm.
report he will see, because
Hmm.
it is very difficult, which is a date, when it was last done, how he
Hmm.
compare.
Hmm.
So it makes healthcare journey very easy for the patient and for the
Yeah.
healthcare ecosystem as well.
I mean, I think it's moving in a very good direction. I really like this part of how technology is really helping healthcare. And so, I mean, I also want to talk a little about the profession in general, right? So, let's say if somebody wants to get into this space of hospital administration, what is the typical route right now? Like, how would you typically approach this profession?
Right. I think this profession is very important, and I always say there is no downside of this profession, whether recession is there or not.
Yeah.
Till humans are there, I think this profession is there. So our hospitals has to manage professionally. So now I am seeing from the year 2000 till 2023, there are various management school which has come up. Now various Indian Institute of Management like IIM Bodh Gaya, IIM Jammu, many management colleges have been started. Earlier in my time, there was only one and two institutes In my time, they started through social sciences, the IHMR Jaipur, but now there is quite good. So I think there are two ways to go into the hospital administration. One is after 10 plus 2, you do a graduation in hospital management, followed by your post graduation. This is available in few institute, but better way is do a graduation in whatever field you want to do, maybe physiotherapy, maybe occupational therapy, maybe pharmacy, maybe commerce, anything, and then you go for a proper MBA or MHA in hospital management. So that make your base very strong. So most of the MBA which is available in India, it is after your graduation, like what I did my bachelor's in medical technology, which and I did from PGI, which is a medical institute, and then I applied there. So I think if somebody want to do hospital management, do a graduation in the area which you want, commerce, because health, you're not making doctors, you are making healthcare managers, or you're making a business manager. Do a graduation in your area of interest which you want to do, commerce, physiotherapy, your dental surgery, or MBBS, or whatever, and then you give exam, that various exam which is happening of different institute. Do a proper MBA, and this is not only academics only. You have been It is mandate you have to do at least 3 to 4 internship in the hospitals. You've been placed there for few months, work with the CEOs or manager of the hospital in different departments, clinical services and supportive services, and then as a part of your training, you become MHA postgraduate, and then there is a placement depending upon the management school. Placement is happening, and you can
Mm.
apply. And it is not specific to hospitals. Now you can work in startup. You can also work in any IT company. Now at the same time, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is also taking quality manager, like Government of Gujarat, Delhi, MP, and all. They are also taking quality managers. So I think this is a formal route which anybody can take. I think now most of the academic institute is giving a degree in MHA, hospital management.
Okay. And how does the financial aspect of this job looks like? Like, do you think people are paid well enough, or in fact, probably even more than average, or how do you see it?
The people are paid very well. In fact, if you compare MBA in hospital versus MBA in general MBA in other, except from the premier institute in the country, depending upon which institute you're passing, right?
Mm.
So the placement is very well. If you see the last year, the placement of some of the premier hospital management institute, it has gone from 10 lakhs to 30 lakhs, so which is a starting salary. And then depending upon the skill set, see, I'll give you example. If you are a graduate in commerce, or if you are a MBBS or a BDS or a physiotherapy or a science graduate, which stream you take, I think first year is very very important post your MBA. And then like, say for example, in our time they used to place us for 1 year in each department. Like, I've been placed during my internship 1 month in each department, 1 month in ICU, 1 month in OT, laboratory services, OPD, IPD, and all. And after 1 year they see which is your strength.
Mm.
How can you organize and administer that department?
Mm.
Because now I think everything is PNL. You
Mm.
are basically the business managers.
Mm.
So like in my time when I used to do MBA, so my father or mother used to say, my son is working in the hospital, acha, he must be a doctor, typical thing. So it is very
Mm.
difficult for those people to tell. Then I used to tell, okay, I'm in the hospital, doctor manage patient and I manage doctors. So how I manage doctors? I manage doctor by giving them state of art equipment, giving them infrastructure to work, as well as to run the hospital in a professional way, like various certification, like NABH, JCI, and this will help to give a optimum care to the patient, safe care to the patient, and doctors are also very happy in working in that environment. So
Mm.
that's
And
make the people understand.
yeah. And how would you compare like the stress level for this particular job? Because I mean, the moment hospitals comes in our mind, it's like, oh my God, like it's scary, Like for most of the people, you never want to go to a hospital. So, how do you see the stress level and the kind of impact you are creating? Because obviously, it's very direct. Like whatever you are doing has a direct impact on the doctor, on the patient, on this whole setup. So, how do you see that area?
You are right, stress is there, but I think you need to manage your stress. I'll give you example why stress is happening. I think most of the multinational FMCG, you're working on computers, Excel sheets and all, projects and all. But I think healthcare manager is different. He or she need to talk to n number of peoples. See, my most of the time spending talking to the doctors, talking to my vertical HODs, and hospital. You're working on a project and somehow you hear on a PA system there is a code blue in the third floor of the hospital where patient is sinking and a team of doctors and nurses is running towards the patient to save that patient, to do a CPR and giving them a training. Like there's so many code in the hospital: code blue, code red, code pink, and code white. So I think hospital is creating, impacting life, and at the end of the day you feel very happy when a life is saved or a care is being given. There's so many patients which cannot afford the treatment, so we as healthcare manager, the role is that to give the optimum and primary care to the patient, and then depending upon the affordability we can always shift him to a setup where he can afford to a government hospital and all. So I think every day I used to meet around 200 to 300 people ranging from the employees, doctors, patients, and vendor. I think this is very unique in healthcare. And I think this manage your stress. I feel if you want to manage your stress, meet the people, every day meet some new people and trying to initiate a dialogue and impact their life. And at the end of the day, when you get the feedback, like say, for example, a few days back, we were celebrating Janmashtami. So Janmashtami is a festival where it is a birthday of Lord Krishna. So there was a baby, there was a 6-year-old boy who was supposed to go to his school in a fancy dress for a Lord Krishna, this thing, this flute, and everything. And they
Mm.
were going to a school and he met an accident. His mother was taking him to school and he got hurted here.
Oh.
Stitches have come. So I was there in the hospital and I came to know this thing. So our doctors came, they tried to stabilize him, admitted in the PICU of the hospital. A minor procedure is being done. And after a day, there was, because in Gujarat, they celebrate festival for 2 days, pre-birth and post-birth, right? And that baby and the parent was so sad. My son was going to a school for fancy dress, Lord Krishna, and now he's in the hospital. And the hospital environment, the sound of a monitors, all those things. And some of our managers and staff nurses made an impact. You believe it, what they have done? They brought a Lord Krishna attire, they brought a flute, and they brought a matki with makhan, and they have done the same thing which happened at home, and child was so happy. The few of the staff nurses hold that boy, taken them out. They have taken one stick, break that this thing to celebrate Krishna and Lord Krishna birthday. And parents were so happy. In the morning, I was so happy reading the Google feedback of that mother. She was writing, "Okay, I think I'm very, very happy. I forgot my pain."
Mm.
So we are not treating him, you know.
Mm.
So that is the impact, and you feel at the end of the day, you feel very happy when you have a
Yeah.
comfortable sleep. You have impacted their life, not one, but impacted the entire family.
Yeah.
So I
But
think that is
wouldn't
the
it?
thing which keep us up.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, I can totally understand that aspect because I was working in like hospital administration for 1 year around. So
Okay,
I get that
okay,
idea, but it also has like the flip side of the coin as well, right? Where you are also seeing people actually passing away in the hospital
yes.
as well, and that also has an impact on you. So, how would you typically handle that kind of stress then?
No, you are right. You are right. Because life is not so good. You are very right. Like we started a liver transplant program in the hospital. So two kind of, one is cadaver and one is life. So a wife has given a liver to husband. Both are very young. Wife is somewhere at 30 plus, and husband is late 30s. She has given a liver to a husband, and somehow he died. So she was in utter shock. A liver is being given by her, and somehow, bad prognosis, and patient dies after 7 day of liver transplantation, and the family broke down. So there's a
Mm.
two side of hospitals, where on a periodic basis somebody is dying also, because hospital is not only a good space. But I think this is part and parcel of life. Sometimes the reference patient is coming from a far away and they're not reaching well on time, they die. But if you see, I think we carry a story every month, a smile behind the mask. We created these stories every month to motivate our doctors, to motivate our nurses, to motivate our paramedics. So we always capture the smile of a nurse behind the mask. Okay, what is happening on her when they see the patient? And sometimes patient is also very rowdy. They shout at doctors, they shout at nurse, but they're doing their job. So I think every day we got a very busy ER when patients come. Sometimes you cannot able to survive them. We have a CPR team, we have code blue, but life is not smooth also. So there are different shades of happiness and sadness in the hospital. But I think whenever you make somebody smile in the hospital, there's a EDCA moment in the hospital. So among all Apollo group, we do EDCA moments. How to make an impact? Like there was one patient who want to visit a Lord Hanuman temple. You cannot take him, you know. So to them because the surgery. So they make some small impact in the life, and they make
Mm.
happy. But I'm telling
Yeah.
both the part of healthcare.
Yeah.
Everything is not happy. So, but I think when you see a happy story or a happy patient, your stress level also, it balancing act is done.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you are very right in saying that it's a act of balance, right? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, both the things will always be there, and it's like where do you want to focus your attention on? I mean, obviously you'll see bad things as well, but yeah, that's how it is. But is there like any piece of advice that you have for people who want to get into hospital administration from your life that you want to pass on to people? Like what basically motivates you or guides you, or like how are you looking at it?
I think every day I sleep well. So these are the days when people are struggling to sleep. I think every day I interact with so many people. I think thanks to my healthcare job, I interact with so many people. So many people means new faces. Some of the time, yeah, like I daily make a hospital round. I see to that any new patient who's admitted. So just go and interact with them. I talk with them, hear them if there's some problems. Like sometime, they cannot afford the treatment. So we have a stage one, stage two, and stage three. So we give them some financial support, request the doctor to optimize the fees in hospital. So I think my advice to the healthcare management is very, very important. The people who got a passion for healthcare, they should come into this field. But I think this is an area where a country like India require more healthcare manager. Conventionally, if you see, there was nothing like healthcare managers. There is a trust hospital, and there is a private hospitals or a government hospital. So they don't believe in management of the hospitals. So if you see why most of the government hospital, trust hospital is not being managed, some trustee is there, he has funded that hospital, but you have to run that hospital. So now, since the proper courses are there, people should do their MBAs, make the hospital run well, efficiently well from the business point of view, but don't leave the human touch part of healthcare, because at the end of the day, you are impacting life. We are not working in a FMCG company or a IT product company where one product fails, you skip to the next product. No, it is question of life. I think healthcare manager can do the job very well, making the process very comfortable. Say, for example, after operation, after any procedure, you need to explain to the patient's relative what is happening into the OT. So we have created a ICU rooms, something known as ICU. One is intensive care unit. I say it is ICU, SEEU. Means whenever
Mm.
patient is there in the ICU, call all the relative in that ICU room. Doctor will explain what is happening on the patient. They can connect with the patient on a video. Patient can wave if he is fine. So they become a part of the care. I think if you involve patient relative in the care process, I think that is buy-in has been taken and they feel very, very happy. And now with the technologies. You can connect with the son and daughters and family member anywhere. If you're not connecting with the family and treatment is happening one way, though you are doing a great job, I think that is a mistrust which has come between the family and the hospital. So I think if we do this, we can coming more close to the patient and impact life and celebrate each and every day with the patient. So at the end of the day, you feel very happy. So this is a very good field which most of the people can take after their graduation, and depending upon their strength, they can choose any stream in the hospital, and
Mm.
they will be fine, and there is no recession in the field, you know. So that is one of the
Yeah.
best thing. Like during the COVID time, most of the my IT friends used to say WFH, that is working from home. I also say
Mm.
I am also doing WFH, but working from the hospitals.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's right. And do you explicitly see any skill that like kind of outshines if you have to work in this area? Like something, it can be a soft skill or a hard skill, but something that, you should start developing if you are wanting to get in this area or probably become like a successful person in hospital management.
I think most of the people who want to enter into the hospital management, the important thing is communication and a habit to listen. Because here you are dealing with different shades of people, right? From doctors who are most highly qualified, like DM and MCH, vis-a-vis a patient care attendant who just 10th class or 8th class or 12th class, you know. So I think if you can manage these people, you have to manage differently because doctors are not your employees. They're your partner in healthcare. See, you cannot say management is superior than doctors. I think doctors are partner in the care of the patients. So if you understand these dynamics and you should got a very good communication, I think most of the time if communication fail in healthcare, most of the thing fails, like communication between the doctor and the patient, the communication between the manager and the doctors and the paramedics. So I think we have to improve the communication platform. So understanding of healthcare start from understanding of doctors. If you are managing your doctor well, you can manage the healthcare well.
Hmm. Hmm. That's a very good piece of advice, actually. And listening is always like, I think it's one of the best skills to have in general because unless you don't listen, you would not realize what the problem is,
No,
and then how will you find a
sometimes it
solution?
happens. You are right. Sometimes, five, six people come to my office. My executive assistant used to say, sir, there are 10 people who want to meet you because they are very aggressive. Treatment is not happening proper. Your staff nurse is not good. Your doctor is not attending the call. My patient is worrying. So they came. I asked them to sit in the room. Firstly, they start talking. They come and shout. Firstly, I ask them, have a glass of water, and drinking water will take few seconds, 15 to 20 seconds, and then start the conversation. Hear them out, don't give them piece of advice. And once they take water and they start talking to you, they feel at ease.
Hmm.
Because I have seen most of the time, if you not hear them, so they'll become more aggressive because they are on the receiving end. Their family member is admitted into the hospital. So if you hear them out, and what are the ways your hospital protocol is there, try to do the same thing.
Hmm.
But at the same time, because here the deposit is not directly proportional to the treatment. Suppose a patient bill is 40,000 you need to take, and he can give you 20,000 now. So you cannot mark a line. No, you give 40,000, then only treatment will start. No, you're dealing with humans. So I think that communication and understanding is very, very important for a healthcare manager. Visa with the people of working in different areas. You're not dealing with people. You're not dealing like hotel and hospital. Hotels, you are dealing happy customers. But in hospital, we are not dealing with happy customers.
Hmm. Hmm. That's the
So
basic difference.
I think that is a basic difference.
Hmm. That's very right. Neeraj, are you seeing some kind of trend in terms of like what kind of people are coming in this area?
No, no. I've seen for some time. I think females managers are coming more. So if you see any batch of MBA in hospital management or MHA, more are females than male counterparts. So it is always 60-40 or 70-30. So more and more female want to do MBA in hospital management. So that is a good trend. I think female managers are much, much better. than their male colleagues. And understanding of healthcare and empathy toward the patient care services, I think it is much, much better. So
Hmm.
that is a trend which I am seeing generally into the MHA domain of healthcare.
Okay. And what's the full form for MHA? Sorry, I'm not sure.
Masters, Masters in
In
Hospital
health admin.
Administration.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I think in general, like I don't hear too much that, like females are like the dominant group in this category. But then I think this is interesting that females are like more interested in and are also doing like a good job then in that case.
In fact, any hospital you see, I can tell more are female employees than male. Most importantly, staff nurse contribute the maximum employee strength and maximum staff nurses. If you see the staff nurses, it is 90-10 or 80-20. 80% are female nurses and 20% are male nurses. So if you see hospital as such, more are female employees.
Okay. And are you also seeing this trend in amongst doctors as well? Like, do you see more female doctors coming in as compared to previously?
I think I've not seen trend there, but I think some of the specialties female are not opting, like orthopedics, cardiothoracic
Hmm.
vascular surgery. These are the, I think, areas which most of the female doctors are not opting for. But I think some of the specialty like the pediatrics, some of the specialty like medicine, some of the specialties like dermatology and radiology, more and more female doctors are there. So here in Apollo,
Hmm.
we got equal 50 per percentage females, around 50 percentage male doctors.
Okay, that's very interesting. Wonderful. I think I've had like very good conversation with you, Neeraj, and I think I've got like a lot of idea about how you can get in this area, and like what can you expect out of this kind of profession, and it definitely looks very fulfilling, because of course you can see like what you are doing. It has a direct impact already. So, yeah, thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful talking to you.
It was pleasure talking to you. I've gone
Okay.
back 20 years back and now.